Have you ever got the chance to view this beautiful sight? But can you imagine with what force is this water flowing? What is the volume of this water? Well, it is huge. So how does this happen? This is because of this construction of the dam here. Yes, these are a part of multi-purpose projects, or rather multi-purpose river valley projects. So, multi-purpose river valley projects help us generate Hydel power or hydroelectric power. If you remember from the last video, we have learned about non-conventional and renewable sources of energy, where we focused on solar energy and wind energy. Today in this video, we will be talking about this another non-conventional or renewable source of energy, that is Hydel power or hydroelectric power. This particular resource of energy or this particular renewable source of energy is not a new discovery. Even the ancient Greeks used these water wheels in order to wash their grains and to wash their clothes. Initially, they were not aware of that fact that electricity could be generated using these water wheels. However, in the late 19th century, it was discovered by humans that these water wheels or such wheels could be used in order to generate Hydel power or hydroelectric power. So, this energy is obtained from the energy of fast flowing rivers. In the very beginning, we saw that how river waters flow with a very huge force when they flow down the dams. So when they flow down the dams, these rivers, because they are of high velocity and speed and they are voluminous in nature, they come down with a great force. So this helps us obtain the hydroelectric power. Right? Now, since in the generation of this particular energy, we do not burn any fossil fuel or we do not use any limited natural resource, so this energy is non-polluting and it's a renewable source of energy, which only means that it can be used again and again and it is inexhaustible. So here is how hydroelectric power is generated by the construction of dams. These dams are a part of multi-purpose river valley projects. So let's understand how this Hydel power is generated. So a dam is constructed in the course of river, right? So where the dam is constructed, this becomes a reservoir where the water is reserved or stored. And these dams have several gates that block or hold the river at the top, making it a reservoir. When these gates are opened and this water is allowed to flow down, they come down with a great force because these dams are built at a very good height. So when this water flows down from the dam, they enter into these generators that have turbines. These turbines rotate these flowing water that has huge force and convert it into electricity, and this electricity is then transmitted to different parts of the country or state or any other place where this is being generated through the transmission lines. So the energy of falling water, as we just saw, of rivers is used to generate hydroelectricity. So these dams are constructed in order to generate electricity, or rather hydroelectricity, that is non-polluting, which is derived from renewable resource of energy, that is river water. So besides these dams are also important for many other purposes. Let's cite an example and understand this particular point. So the Great Lakes in North America is an area which is surrounded by industrial activities. It is one of the most highly developed industrial regions of North America. Now, why are we talking of industrialization of this particular area along with these Great Lakes? What do these Great Lakes do here? Well, let's see. So this particular region owes its industrial success to these Great Lakes. So the Great Lakes involves 5 major lakes, and these are Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario. These are the 5 major lakes that compose the Great Lakes of North America. So why exactly is this area so industrially developed? Because they draw the power from the surrounding dams, which are a part of the multi-purpose river valley projects. So these dams that surround these Great Lakes are large in number. However, there are few important dams that we will be locating. First is the Superior Dam. The Superior Dam is near Lake Erie right here. So this is one of the most important dams that is built around the Great Lakes and provides energy to all the surrounding industries and help them run smoothly and efficiently. Besides the Superior Dam, another important dam is the Hydropower Dam. This Hydropower Dam is near Lake Michigan and is another very important dam in providing energy to the surrounding industries. Yet another very important dam around the Great Lakes is the Mio Dam. The Mio Dam is near Lake Huron right here. So these important dams in this particular area has helped the region to develop to a huge extent, making it an industrial hub of North America. And these are a part of the multi-purpose river valley projects, as I have been mentioning again and again. Now let's see what exactly is a multi-purpose river valley project. Multi-purpose river valley projects help in the development of irrigation. They help in generating electricity and to control floods through the construction of dams. So by constructing dams, they not only help in the generation of electricity, they also control floods and they also help in the development of irrigation. So you see how important these multi-purpose river valley projects are. Now why is the name multi-purpose? It is simply because it does not serve only one purpose but can be used, or it serves various purposes. Even in India, there are various multi-purpose projects, and some of the most significant ones are here. We have the Tungabhadra project, the Nagarjuna Sagar Dam, the Hirakud Dam, Damodar Valley Corporation, and the Bhakra Nangal Dam. So these are some of the most significant or prominent multi-purpose river valley projects in India that help or boost the economy of this particular country. So besides the construction of dams, under the multi-purpose projects, barrages and canals are also built. So what are these barrages and canals? A barrage has a number of large gates that is used to regulate and stabilize river water elevation. So during the construction of dam, the dam may lead to the rise of the water level, the rise of the river water level to the height of the dam. However, when a barrage is built, it does not do the same. It may only increase the level of the water to a feet. So when these barrages are built, which contains a number of large gates, they help in irrigation and other systems. So besides helping in irrigation, they also check the amount of water passing through, or rather they check the flow of the water. So this is how a barrage is so useful and is a part of these multi-purpose projects. So now let's talk about canal. A canal is a human-made waterway. So this construction helps or allows boats and ships to pass from one water body to another. So we can say that a canal helps in inland navigation. Now, let's look at some other uses of these dams that are built under these multi-purpose projects. Before that, let us point out the two most important multi-purpose projects in North India. And what are these? We have the Bhakra on River Satluj right here. And we have Tehri Dam on River Bhagirathi. So these two are two of the most important multi-purpose projects in North India. So let's see how these help, or what is the importance of these two multi-purpose projects. The people of Delhi receive continuous and uninterrupted supply of electricity because they are located close to Tehri Dam and Bhakra Dam, right? Do you know why? Because as we just learned that multi-purpose projects help in the generation of electricity and distribution of this particular electricity to other parts or to various parts of a particular place. So, multi-purpose projects provide inexpensive and continuous supply of electricity for people living nearby, like the people of Delhi in this particular example. So, they are inexpensive and they provide continuous supply of electricity because they draw this power from renewable resources of energy, that is water. So water is an inexhaustible resource of energy and it is also in abundance, so we do not have to pay for it. So it is inexpensive, or it is less cheap as compared to other sources of energy used to generate electricity. So other than that, it facilitates inland water navigation, as we discussed a while ago, where canals or man-made waterways are built so that inland navigation could be facilitated, where boats or ships are allowed to pass from one water body to another. So these are done by rivers and canals. So you see that multi-purpose projects have so many different purposes to fulfill. It provides us with electricity that is inexpensive and continuous. It helps in inland navigation. It also helps in the development of irrigation. Now, before moving on, please help me answer this question. Which of the following is false or not true? Multi-purpose projects facilitate inland water navigation, or does not provide continuous supply of electricity, or control floods. Yes, we just learnt that multi-purpose projects provide us with continuous supply of water. So in the following, this sentence is false or not true. So multi-purpose projects facilitating inland water navigation and controlling floods, it also provides continuous supply of electricity. There's another importance of these multi-purpose projects. Tehri Dam plays an important part in Uttarakhand tourism, right? So Tehri Dam on River Bhagirathi provides extensive tourism facilities to Uttarakhand. So it actually helps in boosting the economy of this particular state by adding to the tourism industry. So if you ever happen to visit Uttarakhand, you definitely should not miss these different water sports, right? So besides these exciting water sports, this particular dam provides you with a spectacular view of the surroundings, and you must visit this place. So you see that not only Tehri Dam but any multi-purpose projects help in boosting the economy of a particular region or of a particular nation by adding to the tourism industry of that particular nation. This is a map of India showing the Chandal Dam in Jharkhand. So this Chandal Dam is a part of the important multi-purpose projects of India. This Chandal Dam right here is located in Jharkhand and it draws its water from river Subarnarekha. Now why are we suddenly talking of this particular dam? Is there something special about it? Yes, there is. Fish farming or pisciculture in Jharkhand has developed due to the multi-purpose Chandil Dam. So you see, this dam definitely helps in the construction of electricity, helps in controlling floods, helps in inland water navigation, and also helps in irrigation. But besides this, it also boosts another very important industry, and that is fish industry. So pisciculture is practiced in this particular dam. So you see that it helps in not only providing different facilities to the people living nearby, it also helps in boosting industries like fish industry, and it adds to the economy of states like Jharkhand in India. So this particular example throws light on the fact how these river valley projects are multi-purpose in nature. So let's talk about another important feature of these multi-purpose projects. So these multi-purpose projects lead to the construction of dams. These dams, when constructed, leads to the formation of artificial lakes or reservoirs. Yes, from the very beginning we have been mentioning that these dams have reservoirs which are often regarded as artificial lakes. So you see, a very good example of this particular point is the Hirakud Dam in Odisha, that is in India. So right here we have the Hirakud Dam that draws its water, or its source of water is river Mahanadi, right here. So you see that this Hirakud Dam leads to the formation of this artificial lake, or the Hirakud Lake, which not only provides with a spectacular view of the surrounding and of the beautiful river Mahanadi's water flowing through this particular area, but it also helps in irrigation system. So these lakes or these reservoirs not only provides you with a beautiful scenario, but also helps in the irrigation system. So these artificial lakes or reservoirs are of huge importance. It not only provides water or not only facilitates irrigation in the surrounding areas, but also far off places that do not receive enough rainfall and have a low production of crops. So these reservoirs help in providing water or enough water supply to these fields that are far off from water resources or water sources and places that do not receive enough rainfall. So now that we have talked about so many importance or uses of these multi-purpose projects, so let's point out the most important Hydel power plants in India. We first have Bhakra Nangal on river Satluj, then we have Tehri Dam on river Bhagirathi, then we have Hirakud Dam on river Mahanadi, then we have Sardar Sarovar right here on river Narmada, followed by Koyna and Nagarjuna Sagar on river Krishna, and finally we have the Chandal Dam on river Subarnarekha. So these are some of the most important Hydel power plants in India. Out of these, Bhakra-Nangal, Tehri and Hirakud dams are dams with the highest installed capacity. Now let us take a look at the leading producers of Hydel power in the world. And who are these? We have USA, Canada, Brazil, Norway, India, China, Russia and Japan. Out of all these countries, China has the highest installed capacity of Hydel power in the world. So here we understand that multi-purpose projects have various uses, highlighting the fact that they are multi-purpose in nature. So let's have a recap and see what are the different uses. So they help us in the generation of electricity, they control floods, they facilitate inland navigation, they also provide public and industrial water supply, they help in irrigation of agricultural lands to even those fields that are far off from water resources and places that do not receive enough rainfall. Other than that, they also promote pisciculture and tourism. So they boost industries of a particular nation, thus adding to the economy of that particular state or nation. Have you ever heard of the famous Hoover Dam in California? Well, this Hoover Dam is one of the masterpieces of engineering in the world. A movie was also based on this particular dam, portraying the destruction of the Hoover Dam. Can you imagine the intensity and the amount of destruction it would cause if it was destroyed in real life? It's unimaginable and it's disastrous. Yes, so this is one of the most important drawbacks of these huge dams. These dams can lead to or can cause disastrous floods. What? Yes, isn't it ironical? In the very beginning, I mentioned that floods are controlled by the construction of dams. But here, on the other hand, I'm saying that it can lead to huge or disastrous floods. It is only because some of the recent floods that took place in India was because of the sudden release of huge amount of water from these dams. Yes, this has led to loss of life and all nearby places surrounding this particular dams. So the construction of large dams displace indigenous communities, promote deforestation, and increase greenhouse gas emissions. So you see that though multi-purpose projects lead to construction of dams, which are very, very useful for many purposes. However, they also have certain limits, demerits or drawbacks to it. As I just mentioned, that some of the recent floods in India was because of the sudden release of water that was in huge amount from these dams. And it has led to loss of life, property and flooding of all the nearby places. So construction of dams displace indigenous communities. Why so? Because when these dams are constructed, then nearby places are cleared, which requires the people living there, the indigenous people living there, to migrate or move to other parts of that particular area. So you see, you're displacing indigenous communities, thus disturbing their original habitat. Other than that, they promote deforestation, which means that the forested lands are cleared. So once that happens, there is no vegetation to absorb carbon dioxide, thus increasing the level of greenhouse gases in the air. So you see that the construction of these dams on one hand provides us with many facilities. On the other hand, it also takes away the habitat of indigenous people, promotes deforestation and pollutes the air as it increases greenhouse gas emissions. So these are some of the most important drawbacks of the construction of these dams. Other than that, the construction of these dams destroy the natural flow of the river water. These dams are built in the course of river waters. So what does that mean? So the natural flow of the water is suddenly obstructed by the construction of these dams, right? So it destroys the natural flow of the water. Other than that, it increases siltation. How so? So on constructing these dams, the water is reserved or it's stagnant at a particular place. So the silt carried by the rivers or the sediments carried by the rivers are not moving from one place to another. Instead, they are being collected in this particular area, thus increasing the siltation of these areas. Now, since natural flow of the rivers are affected, it also negatively affects the fish population. How so? Because these fishes depend on the course or the flow of the river. At a particular phase of their life, they need to move from one place to another, or they need to migrate in order to survive. So when there is a sudden obstruction in the natural flow of the river, it equally affects the life of these particular fishes that depend on the flow of the river. Right? So these are some of the most unfortunate drawbacks of the construction of dams under the multi-purpose river valley projects. So we just learned how these dams under the multi-purpose projects help us produce Hydel power or Hydel energy. Now, besides that, there are various merits and demerits that we pointed out. So let's have a recap. The first merit says that Hydel power is inexhaustible and renewable, right? So when these dams use this Hydel power to generate electricity, they know that there is no fear of limitation to this particular energy resource, because it draws its energy from water, which is in abundance and it is inexhaustible. Other than that, it is renewable in nature, means it can be used again and again and limitlessly. However, we must be very careful in not misusing this particular facility, as though it is inexhaustible. However, it is a part of nature, and if we be very careless about using energies like this, then it may affect us negatively. Another very important merit is that it is non-polluting. So it draws this particular energy from water, and water, especially river water, which is fresh and very clean and not saline. So it's non-polluting. Generation of this particular energy does not harm environment, as we are not burning fossil fuels, or we are not using limited resources, that is conventional and non-renewable, right? Other than that, their reliable power with 24/7 flow, right? So this energy is drawn from water, river waters that have a 24/7 flow, and they are more reliable. As just mentioned, they are inexhaustible and renewable, so they are more reliable as compared to conventional or non-renewable sources of energy that are limited in nature. So when this hydropower or renewable source of energy is used to generate electricity, and dams are constructed for this particular purpose, they also create lakes. These lakes act as reservoirs and help in the development of irrigation for not only places or agricultural fields surrounding this particular dam, but also far off places that receive very less rainfall. However, this renewable source of energy has various demerits, as we have learnt about. Let's point them out. The first demerit says that it impacts fish population. Yes, we just learnt a while ago that during the construction of these dams, in order to generate hydropower, we destroy the course or the flow of river. So the natural flow of river is affected, which can be dangerous for these fishes, as it does not allow them to migrate from one place to another. These fishes require to move from one place to another at a particular phase of life, which is suddenly obstructed, and it may lead to their extinction. Another demerit is that this hydel power has limited plant locations. So we cannot construct dams in order to generate hydel power wherever we want. We need to locate them at waterfalls that have a good height, so that when water flows down these waterfalls, they come down with a great velocity, and it is easier to generate this hydropower. Other than that, they are mostly located on perennial rivers, or rivers that have continuous supply of water throughout the year, right? Another limitation is that the initial cost of installing them is very, very high, along with the maintenance cost. So even though renewable resources like solar energy and wind energy requires high installation cost, but their maintenance cost is low, hydropower on the other hand has high installation cost along with high maintenance cost. So it is very, very costly to maintain these huge dams and to continue with the generation of hydropower used for various purposes. Final limitation of this, that it increases the risk of floods and earthquakes, as I just mentioned. If you remember the example I cited, that recent floods in India were because of the sudden release of the huge amount of water from these multi-purpose dams. So if these dams are carelessly constructed, or if they are not maintained properly, then it may lead to a sudden release in this large amount of waters that can lead to flooding of nearby areas. Other than that, storing this huge amount of water can also induce or may lead to the possibility of earthquakes, which is very, very dangerous. So you see that the generation or the use of this hydel power has both limitations and merits to it. And we need to keep in mind that while generating or using this particular energy resource, we have to be very, very careful. So while dealing with this particular renewable source of energy, we need to be very, very careful as it involves the risk to life and property. Though this particular energy resource has various drawbacks, however, we cannot ignore the fact that it is a renewable resource of energy and it has helped us improve our lives to a huge extent. A very good example that throws light on this particular fact is the incident of April 5, 2020. So on April 5, 2020, when the nation performed a lights out program of 9 minutes in solidarity with COVID warriors, Hydroelectric Power successfully managed the safety and stability of nationwide electric grid system despite an exceptional load system. So this exceptional load system helped us renew energy to the entire nation after the 9 minutes of lights out program. There was a huge fluctuation of electricity across India. However, they managed it successfully and we had electricity back at our homes. So here we see that hydroelectric power has proved to be a landmark achievement in the recent years. So today in this video, we learned about Hydel power or hydroelectric power, which is a non-conventional and renewable source of energy, right? So it is non-polluting, inexhaustible, and we can use it again and again. It is not causing harm to the environment and it has various benefits. Though it has certain drawbacks, however, it has proved to be a great achievement in the recent years. So while talking of the renewable energy resources, we have learned about the solar energy and the hydroelectric energy, and we have also learnt about wind energy. So besides these, other important renewable sources of energy are wave energy, tidal energy, biomass, and geothermal energy. In the next video, we will be learning about the conservation of energy. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers or to get access to all our 5,000 plus amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock test. Get all your doubts resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it is rewarding too. So register for free now.